Hello YouTube, this is the Moreman82 here with another future project video. I came up with this project because this year we had an abnormally huge amount of snow, and especially in the month of February. We're in March now, and we're having another snowstorm today. We're going to have about 30 centimeters between this morning, well, between today and tonight. So I've been doing, in February at least, we've been doing a lot of shoveling, and we have a tractor with a rear blower, but sometimes some of the snowdrifts were 6 or 7 feet high, and I came up with a few modifications to a snowblower that would probably make the life easier. you know, um, all of you know what a regular snowblower looks like. I came up with the idea of adding, if you look at this picture right here, the front. This represents the front of the blower. Now the front of the blower, sometimes when you're pushing the blower into a drift, it's hard to push into, and it doesn't really go far enough. It takes a lot of effort to just try to wiggle it through. So the main idea I had was to add two augers, one on each side of the front, that would still be inside the limits, like a little bit like equal with the side of your blower, so it would actually, going forward, it would actually carve a straight path in the side, and it would the two extra augers would take the snow and bring it downwards, and then the regular augers would push it towards your regular impeller to shoot out. Uh, what I also thought too is usually, snowblowers usually have snowdrifts like this, and they're usually just, simple metal bars that go up the sides. I wanted to try to find one that's actually in this shape here with a sort of an extension, and on the side, or one side, probably the inner side, it would be some sort of a wedge, something like this. So anything coming this way would actually be deflected towards the inside of this, and to compensate for the rest, like when you have snowdrifts that are higher than your front of your bucket. I thought about putting, I don't know if it's gonna work or not, an inverted V-plow, small, probably made out of either a hot water tank or an old propane tank or something. But instead of having it like your normal V-plow where it's like this, I would have it flipped upside down, so the pointy part would be upwards. So the pointed part would be upwards, and the main angle would be a triangle, sort of like this picture, and it would, if you would push it into a snowdrift, it would actually break it and break it downwards. Or if the snowdrift was higher, it would actually split the snowdrift in the front a little bit to try to, and then push it towards these augers. These augers are gonna have like a notch cut out into the V-plow itself, so actually anything that's pushed will actually go here and go down and go in the snowblower. I was also thinking of the top of it in the center to have some sort of like a top piece like this, so if you do have to go like underneath a snowdrift, if you want to break it, instead of getting out, we've all done it before, getting out the shovel and breaking the snowdrift so it goes lower, so it hits the ground so you can snowblow it, have like a wedge that goes up like this on top of this will just be like a piece of metal just up like that goes on top, and that way you can go underneath the snowdrift or the overhang, lift up on the handlebars of the snowblower, and that would break the whatever the drift, and it would fall down on its own. Since all of this will add a lot of weight to the snowblower in the front, I was thinking of sort of trying to, I don't have it drawn up here yet, invent some kind of mechanism where you press a pedal and either it pumps or it lifts the front end of the snowblower up. So if you do have to break something with that, you don't have to use your own strength to press down on it. That way anybody could use a snowblower. The other idea I had is to add tracks, but not the regular tracks like you find on a track snowblower, because those are pretty flimsy. I did get a snowblower for free last summer, and it was still a Mastercraft snowblower, and it has wide wheels. So what I'm thinking of doing is making it very simple, is to extend the shaft on either side, weld a piece of tubing on the side here, and add 2 tires. I was initially thinking of adding 2 tires, but what I thought about is usually the distance between the bucket and the tire isn't very great in the front, but it is in the back. There's nothing there. The handlebars are up here, so there's nothing stopping it. So what I might do is they sell these small inflatable tires. So the configuration will either be having 2 of these small tires in the front here and 2 of them in the back, or having 2 of these in the front because I have limited space, and then another small tire in the back here. And what I'll do is simply do a design which is online, it's also on YouTube too, is taking chain and then cutting square pieces and welding the chain to the side, and then you have it go over. There'll be like a little lip, a 90-degree angle on the edges. That way it'll fit over the tires, and that way it'll stay on the wheels. So it won't, if you put them just flat, they'll just fall right off when you're running it. I will possibly have some kind of threaded rod here for a tightening mechanism, but I might not do that. I might just put the tightening mechanism directly on the chain, make like a piece of metal with a bunch of holes. So when you link the chain together, you can just tighten it to the section that you want. And on those metal plates, because I want to get a lot of traction, I'll either put some sort of extra welded piece of straight stock, just like straight up like this, or do a V shape. But since I'm not sure of the width of the tracks yet, but they'll probably be a good 2 to 3 4 inches wide. So I'll have quite a few of them. So what I might end up doing is just making it simple and just welding this edge up. That way it's almost like tank treads or bulldozer treads. You can actually get some actual traction to move this thing. Since there is weight in the front quite a bit, if I put the bogey wheels there and I put this big wheel here, I might actually extend this farther, or I might not. I'm not too sure. I'll have to figure it out when I actually start putting it together. On the back part, I will put some kind of a fender, because when the back of the snowblower will be here and you'll be walking, so I don't want to land up getting my foot caught in there or something like that. So I might just put like a half fender made of, I don't know, something and I'll figure that out when I get there, just to protect myself so I won't get caught. So this will actually be the ultimate snowblower. My configuration for making the augers work in front is to put a sprocket on. This is the axle for the current augers, and this is the side view, and putting having a big sprocket there, putting another big sprocket on the top, which it will fit like right here somewhere, and then putting a chain, and then having, initially I thought about putting a worm gear here, and then having another gear on top of this to make it run. But there aren't any worm, unless I can find a gear that can attach to a worm gear here. There aren't any worm gears for sprockets themselves. So what I might end up doing is taking a sprocket or something, or a gear with holes in it on the side, and having another gear lacing on the top, so that the teeth go into the gaps of the top gear. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do that. I'll know when I rig this up because I have to do some figuring out because the gears will be here, and the top gear has to be pretty wide for it to overlap here. So I'll have to see about that. What I'm planning to use for these augers, I was initially trying to find some grain augers, like for for filling grain in silos. But I actually found something easier and cheaper, which are these. These are just like um, ice hole augers, usually manual, or sometimes you see them with an engine. They come in 6-inch and 8-inch diameter. I might decide to take the 6-inch diameter ones, and what I would use them is cut off the bottom with the blades and still use the shaft, and probably just mount one on each side here, because I could pretty much probably get them for free if they're used, or you can get these cheap at Canadian Tire or another store. But I was also, another modification I was trying to think of is to change the impeller configuration, where I'll add some plastic extensions to the sides here to close that gap, and it sort of close the gap of the auger pallets, of the auger flippers I should say, on the other side, so it'll be some sort of like a cupping motion instead of just like a flat motion like this. So if I close in the side, when it scoops, it'll scoop something and not just like, because usually it's just like a straight paddle with a little tiny flip like this, right? So if I have that, plus I extend the side part and I cup the front, that would pick up more snow and shoot it farther. And I also want to get another engine for that snowblower. The one that I have here only has a 10 horsepower Briggs, and it's an old engine. I want to get my hands on a 13 or 15 horsepower overhead valve, just to give the blower enough power. And I also want to extend the chute, sort of what you see on the bigger blowers that do the sides of the roads or the streets in cities, the ones that dump the snow directly into the trucks. I want to extend my chute higher, just a little bit higher, just so if you're doing snow drifts, you can actually shoot the snow up higher and on top. It doesn't come back onto you. So anyway, this is what I have so far. This project will probably start sometime this year, this spring or something like that, when I get the materials necessary to get it all done. But it should be a good project. I will also have a cab, like one of those cabs put on the handlebars to protect you from all the snow and stuff. So this should be an ultimate snowblower. It's a contraption, it's something that would probably work. I mean, I think it would work better than your average snowblower. It would take on quite a bit more snow and blow it farther and everything. So yeah, since they were talking that this year was kind of like this last snowstorm we had was Snowmageddon, I thought a good name for the snowblower would either be Pale Blower, the Horseman, or the Horseman of the Snowpocalypse, one or the other. And if you can find out, there's a link between the Snowmageddon and why it's called Pale Blower or the Horseman. See if you can find out what the link is. You have to know a little bit of your history and mythology, but yeah, see if you can figure out what the link between the name is and between the Snowpocalypse. Anyway, if you can figure that out, leave it in the comments, and I'll let you know if you're right. Anyway, so that's what I have so far for this. It will be changing. I think I could do the project for relatively cheaply. The biggest part of what I need is the motor, and the motor probably cost me about $200. I'll just try to find one that's been lightly used, but the other materials I probably have to buy is this and that, and then the rest of the chain sprocket and all that stuff. I have all that stuff already. I've been picking up all kinds of odds and ends. So anyway, if you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. Have a good day.